couple of weeks ago, I went to the cinema with a couple of friends and we watched the new Godzilla x Kong movie. And let me tell you, it was one of the funniest cinema experiences of my life, and not really in a good way.
Stop it. Get some help.
So far, I have two theories. Either the writers during the strike deliberately sabotaged the movie, or Godzilla x Kong was written by AI.
Oh, that's hot.
And let me tell you, I have some pretty compelling arguments for it being AI generated. In fact, stick to the end of the video where I get ChatGPT to write Godzilla x Kong as a comparison. If you thought the last movie had bad writing, Godzilla x Kong blows it out of the water. But still, I will say that even with worse writing, directing, characters, dialogue, and basically everything, it is still a more enjoyable experience than Godzilla vs Kong. Because at least we actually get to see Godzilla and Kong for more than like 10 minutes. I have no idea why they hired so many actors for so many characters if they are just going to be NPCs anyway. We have a main character with absolutely no memorable characteristics, except the fact that she is the main character. What was she like? I can't really tell you. What did she do? No idea. Somehow the main character was the least memorable out of all of them. It's really as if a bot wrote this character. Even the generic boomer general, who has the most predictable death, has at least one characteristic that I remembered. Then we have another generic comedic relief of a certain specific ethnicity, Lemon from Bullet Train.
Nice. We
have deaf Asian girl with weird reverse Daredevil powers. She's also the adopted daughter of the main character now. And last but not least, we have Bug from Ice Age if he was a dentist for giant monkeys. This guy is genuinely hilarious, but AI generated at the same time. Like, the things he says are so dumb that they're funny. But we'll get to that in a minute. Then we have Titans, who somehow have more development and emotional depth than all of the humans combined. We have our veterans to the big screen, Radioactive Lizard and Giant Monkey, but we also get to see some other Titans as well. In fact, there's this whole tribe of other giant monkeys that are living in Hollow Earth. Well, when I say tribe, I really mean slave camp.
What did he say?
I'm not kidding. An entire population of monkeys that are chained up and forced to do slave labor. And they're under the control of a orangutan slave king who has a huge belt. Yeah, this is definitely not problematic. I can't think of any metaphors or meanings, but the orangutan slave king also has a remote controlled ice triceratops that just frozones the shit out of anyone that dares to look twice at the king. I mean, sure, I guess. Also, Mothra is back for some reason. I mean, I'm not complaining seeing another interesting titan in the mix, but there's really no reasonable explanation for her appearance. There's this small giant monkey that is by far my favorite part of the film. It was actually pretty impressive that they managed to display so much development and storytelling without any dialogue. So basically, the computer-generated monkeys and lizards that were animated by humans are more real than the human actors that read out the terrible script, which is another reason why I think some AI was probably involved. The plot was really fragmented, almost like it was put together by a bot. Just saying. At the start, there's 3 moving parts with Radioactive Lizard, Giant Monkey, and the NPCs. Godzilla has made the Colosseum his nest, which to be honest was pretty cool. Kong has stumbled upon about 10 more realms inside Hollow Earth, which all looked really similar. So to the audience, there wasn't really a clear sense of progression for his journey. Oh yeah, he also uses the small baby monkey as a weapon, which was hilarious. Then we cut to the humans, and nothing they did was good. At all. For some reason, the deaf girl just has powers now. She can understand frequencies? That sounds like some Scientology shit right there.
I think it's a privilege to call yourself a Scientologist.
Humans did a bunch of things that didn't really make sense and said a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense, which basically led up to the introduction of this new Asian Mayan civilization that's just chilling in Hollow Earth. And surprise, surprise, is where Deaf Girl comes from apparently. They have a reunion celebration followed by a scene that almost got us kicked out of cinema because we just couldn't hold it in anymore. I'm pretty sure it cut from orangutan slave king butchering baby monkey's mother to this weird ribbon dance. This is why the plot went from weird, fragmented, and confusing to just downright chaos. One can't just chuck the word gravity around. I know it's obviously satirical and the writers basically gave up actually coming up with some scientific BS to explain the craziness, but at the same time this could just as well be a failed AI generated explanation. Do these pyramids apparently change gravity so they can open portals to the surface? Anyways, the Titans start fighting in zero gravity and Mothra just appears because why not? And oh yeah, the deaf girl is now a freaking goddess.
What?
Why? Who knows? I don't even think the writers or the AI that wrote this knows why she is now a moth goddess. Like I said previously, the dialogue in this movie was so bad that it became the most compelling argument for Godzilla x Kong being AI generated. It's pretty much only there to push the plot along, which would be fine if there weren't random attempts to add some spice. But it just failed horribly because it was never something a human would actually say in that context. It was just really weird and AI-like, and almost all of it comes from Ice Age Buck Dentist Dude.
We gotta take a detour, there's something here. Yeah? Some kind of bioelectric hum.
Don't get me wrong, the other characters have their fair share of terrible dialogue as well.
After that, everything that is up will come crashing down.
She needs to call me.
I know the last one was from Ice Age Buck Dentist Dude again, but come on. The mosquito needs it more than you do? Then you just let a giant unknown species of mosquito that probably has some super virus suck your blood with no reaction?
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
So all in all, with everything combined, the sheer insanity of this film makes it pretty believable that it could have been written by AI. Ice Age Buck Dentist Dude doing and saying wild things that no human would do or say. Radioactive lizard consuming nuclear energy and charging up to a Super Saiyan purple form. Giant monkey with a Transformers fist using a baby monkey as a weapon. Aztec Asian bug hole with gravity pyramids that open portals to the surface. Hollow Earth now has 10 layers and realms, one of which is literal hell. A Orangutan slave king with a whole population of monkey slaves riding on an ice triceratops that he remote controls. A huge moth that just shows up randomly turns the deaf girl into a deaf moth goddess. What is going on? In the wake of their epic battle against Mechagodzilla, Godzilla and Kong have become the stuff of legend. Humanity has adjusted to their presence, with some fearing them and others revering them. Okay, I'm not reading all that. Basically, Godzilla and Kong have a couple fights, but they put their differences aside to fight a new existential threat, Oceanus. A colossal sea creature with the power to control the oceans themselves. Quote, with the help of a ragtag team of human allies, Godzilla and Kong face off against an army of aquatic titans from giant squids to leviathans. This is basically the same plot as the actual movie, but somehow less fragmented and chaotic. Sure, a literal sea god might sound a bit crazy, but it's nothing compared to the bug cult living in gravity pyramids that spawn a giant moth and turn a girl into a goddess. I know, a lot of Godzilla x Kong is probably satirical, but it's just as likely that some fed up writers decided to use Potato GPT 0.5 beta to come up with these ridiculous characters, story, and dialogue. Even having said all this, it's still not a bad movie, at least not a boring one. But you know what's even more obviously AI generated but with zero redeeming qualities? Megamind 2.